Okay, well, let's jump forward 30 years. That's quite the leap there. To a film that, despite all the naming and all the marketing, isn't directed by the person that everybody thinks it's directed by, which seems to be really, really unfair to poor old Henry Selick. So, Scott, Tim Burton's, not Tim Burton's, The Nightmare Before Christmas, not by Tim Burton.
Yes, what's this? What's this? Well, I'm asking questions around here, bud. In The Nightmare Before Christmas, Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King, is fresh off another highly successful round of scares as Halloween draws to a close, but plaudits from his fellow Halloween town residents cannot bring him joy, just ennui. Going for a meditative stroll, he stumbles across the wondrous Christmas town, a jolly place ruled over by the dreaded Sandy Claus. Greatly enamoured with the place, and finding it unfair that the elves get all the fun, he determines to take over the holiday this year, roping in the rest of the horrific residents of Nightmare Town to help as best they can, given their limited understanding of the concept of a Christmas. So that ultimately goes as well as you might expect, as long as what you expect is a great selection of songs, gags, and striking character design. As you mentioned there, while Harry Selick directs, it's styled as Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, primarily because, well, look at it. This is pretty much what I'd expect an anthropomorphized version of the inside of Tim Burton's head to look like, and indeed he functions more as an executive director here than a traditional producer role. That said, it's perhaps Danny Elfman who has the strongest voice in the film, both in terms of the soundtrack and more literally as the singing voice of Jack Skellington. I don't think I'll belabor the point of this review too much. These days, this is widely, and in my opinion, rightly regarded as a classic, both Halloween and Christmas, and remains a greatly enjoyable watch with its inventive story, great voice and vocal performances, clever, funny songs, and beautiful animation. I endorse this film. Didn't want to get into too much. I think the kind of audience we have is probably familiar with The Nightmare Before Christmas quite a bit. It's really good. It's really funny. It's really lovingly designed. It looks great. Yes, I like it an awful lot, and the songs are very, very funny indeed. Drew, what do you make of it?
Largely the same, Scott. It's just a fun film. When Paul was saying about it before, it's just that I just kind of feel that Tim Burton stole a lot of Henry Selick's credit. When he did the hard work and Tim Burton did not want to be involved with the
painstaking day-to-day involvement of moving things very slowly, taking a picture, moving things very slowly, taking another picture. Yeah,
but was happy to take all of the credit, and all the acclaim. I mean, he wrote a 3-page poem that this is based on. That's it had nothing to do with the script or anything, so it's not really a strongly Tim Burton film.
Yeah,
yes, I see it has a Tim Burton-y sort of feel to it, certainly, but he wasn't that involved. It kind of bothers me that he's like the person associated with that. That aside, though, it's really, really fun, and you've hit on the key thing for this film is Danny Elfman.
Yeah.
He clearly just had fun with this. He said that it's basically the easiest thing he's ever written, the music for this. Because he just got it and he had fun, right? Because the songs are catchy and it's all just playing with the whole Halloween theme and kind of kid-friendly horror stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so fun. There's just an incredible sense of fun in the songs. Like lines, verses like, kidnap the Sandy Claus. I'm not going to try and sing because, I don't hate you listeners, or you, Scott. Kidnap the Sandy Claus, tie him in a bag, throw him in the ocean, then see if he is sad. Kidnap the Sandy Claus, throw him in a box, bury him for 90 years, then see if he talks. I just find that stuff so fun. And then the kind of slightly gruesome other gruesome aspects are like, this is a thing called a present. The whole thing starts with a box. A box? Is it steel? Are there locks? Is it filled with a box? A box? How delightful, a box. The whole film is just full of it's just fun. The lyrics are so fun.
Yeah.
And it's just a joy to watch. And I mean, how many films at all, let alone a Disney animation, get a cover soundtrack like 15 years after the fact with the most disparate array of musicians you can imagine, from Marilyn Manson to Polyphonic Spree, Sparklehorse, and Rodrigo Gabriela. That's crazy. And actually also worth listening to, in particular the Marilyn Manson version of This Is Halloween is great. It's kind of so knowingly kind of over the top,
Yeah.
metally kind of version of it that works really well with the lyrics.
Yeah. To be fair, if The Night Before Christmas was a person, it'd probably be Marilyn Manson. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's just so much fun. Yeah, there's a reason why. I mean, the character design is great, and you know, it's a very, very simple design in the face of Jack Skellington.
Yeah.
But it's so distinctive, and Disney probably love that for the merchandising.
Yeah.
But it's just a genius design, and then everything else in it is so. I can say there's just such a sense of fun to the film, and it is. I say it's got rightfully a classic. It's so distinctive looking.
I would say if there's a point to an overarching theme to our podcast, it's bashing Disney. And just come back to that point again. Apparently, this got released under Touchstone as well because Disney were afraid that it'd be a bit too scary for kids. Which just shows that the people at Disney do not understand what kids are and what kids do and what kids like. This is absolutely wonderful for kids because kids always love the kind of weird, slightly. I mean, it's not actually scary. It's just a little bit gruesome, and it's really funny. And kids love this sort of stuff, and I don't understand why Disney couldn't see that this is obviously something they should put all of their arrows behind and push to the moon. And as such, when this came out, I think it didn't exactly bomb, but it didn't set the world on fire. And it's really only since its home releases that it kind of became the success that it should have been from the start. And I don't understand that decision at all. It's clearly a great work of art, and I love it. Fantastic stuff. Yeah.
Disney resisted it for ages. And I've spoken in other episodes about how much disdain I have for Disney, so I'm not going to get into it, but you know, Disney can do one. Unfortunately, if Disney do one, we'll never get a film again because they own all films now, right?
That's pretty much the case, yes.